If you stay to the end of this video, you're going to learn a lot about adverbs in French. But you're going to know about the nature of adverbs in French. You're going to learn again the functions of adverbs in French. I'm also going to learn the formation of adverbs in French. Now, these are very important because we use them every day. This is Flow Up. If your first time of meeting this channel as a student, an anglophone student studying French in any part of the globe, please, you are in the right channel. Do well to hit the subscribe button and then have a wonderful experience with us. The nature and functions of adverb. Let's begin. Number one, what is an adverb? We say in French, un adverbe est un mot invariable. Un mot invariable. That's what we define adverbs. Now, les adverbes en français, la nature et la fonction. Let's say you have adverb like très. That's an adverb. You have adverb again like tout or tout. You can also have adverbs like toujours, beaucoup. You can have adverbs like mieux, plus. We have different adverbs. Some of them are irregular. Some of them are just regular adverbs. I say regular because they are formed from adjective. We'll look at them very soon as we continue. Now let's begin with the nature and the function of adverbs. Let's take this sentence for example. Je vais très bien. I could have said, je vais bien. If somebody asked me, comment allez-vous? I could say, je vais bien. It's correct. But if I say, je vais très bien, that means I'm adding an adverb, telling you how, the degree, that is, I'm very fine. That très there is the adverb. Très bien. Take another example. You have, je pose mon livre sur la table. Je pose mon livre sur la table. Now, in that particular sentence, je pose mon livre sur la table, there's no adverb there. That sur there is a preposition. And so it doesn't tell me the degree of anything. So adverbs qualify the verb or adjectives or other adverbs in a sentence. La nature des adverbes. Un mot invariable qui modifie un verbe, un adjectif, en même temps, un autre adverbe. Je travaille bien. In that sentence, je travaille bien. Bien is the adverb. It's modifying that verb, travail, from travailler. How well? Je travaille bien. That is an adverb modifying a verb. Now you have, elle est assez jolie. If you say elle est jolie, it's a good sentence. Jolie there is beautiful. But if you say elle est assez jolie, that assez there is an adverb. So it's modifying that particular adjective, jolie, feminine adjective, jolie. The third example now, on the nature, you have je vais très bien, which I used earlier. The word bien is an adverb. Je vais bien is an adverb. But if I say je vais très bien, I'm very fine. That très is modifying the second adverb, bien, in that sentence. Now, having a look at the nature of adverbs, that is, they qualify adjectives, they qualify verbs, or other adverbs in a sentence. That's the nature of adverbs generally. Let's look at the meaning of adverbs. Now, let's say we have different types of adverbs, like you have in English. I will call l'adverbe de lieu, l'adverbe de temps, l'adverbe de quantité, l'adverbe d'intensité, l'adverbe d'affirmation, de négation. You have adverbe de manière. Some few examples on these different types of adverb. Let's say we have l'adverbe de lieu, adverbs of places. We have words like ici, là, ailleurs, loin. These are adverbs of places. They indicate places. Adverbs of time, l'adverbe de temps. You have alors, aujourd'hui, demain, ensuite, enfin, quelquefois. They refer to time. We call them les adverbes de temps. The next one is called adverbe de quantité. Let's say we have words like plus, beaucoup, moins. Remember, we use these words dealing with adjective. If you have watched one of the previous videos we have on adjective, you'll find them there. But these are also adverbs for comparison. The quantité, c'est beaucoup. those are adverbs. Il est plus intelligent. That plus there is modifying that intelligent. That is an adverb there. Now for adverbs of intensity, if you say il est riche, that is the man is rich, it's okay. Il est riche. If I say il est si riche, that is he is so rich. So that si there is an adverb of intensity. Il est si riche, modifying the adjective riche. Now we have encore adverb d'affirmation, de négation or de doute. We have oui, yeah, it might be shocked. That's an adverb. You have none, it's an adverb. That's for negation. We have peut-être, we have si, we have ne pas, your popular ne pas, it's an adverb. That's why it's always used for negation, adverb de négation. Ne pas, non ni, ne jamais, ne que. Those are adverbs of negation. Having understood the fact that there are different types of adverbs, and we have what we call adverb de lieu. Now, the next thing you want to know as a student learning French, il ne faut pas confondre l'adverbe de lieu et les propositions de lieu. We have what we call proposition de lieu, place propositions, and locational propositions, and adverb de lieu, adverbs of places. Now, let's take these two sentences to clarify this so that you don't have the misconception and run into problems as you go along in your French studies. Let's say you have something like, je pose mon livre sur la table. If I say je pose mon livre sur la table, at this particular instance, that sur there is a preposition of place. Sur is on the table. Je pose mon livre, as you have it there, sur la table. Now look at the next sentence. Let's use that word. What's the adverb of it? Let's say we have je pose mon livre dessus. Now when you say dessus, dessous or dessus is an adverb. It's not a preposition there. On top. So take note of that. There are what we call locational prepositions and adverbs that are about locations as well. Now let's take a panoramic view of them. How do they appear? For a preposition, you can have something like hors de, you have en dehors de. Now for those that for those adverbs and prepositions that look alike, what separates them is that preposition de. We have hors de, outside of. We have en dehors de. But for an adverb, you say dehors, il est dehors. That dehors there is an adverb. It's coming after the verb. So you know that you underline it in a sentence the way it is used generally. That's how you get to know the difference more. Look at another one is sur, dessus. We have dealt with that already. The next one is en haut de, en bas de. But you have another, you're gonna have la haut for an adverb, or you have en haut, en bas. Let's say you have sous, en dessous de. But for adverb, you're gonna have dessus, like I mentioned initially. So that's the difference between adverbs and preposition as far as location is concerned. So take note of them. They're very vital so that you don't run into those errors when you're writing your compositions or even speaking French on a normal day. Now we must pay attention to the fact that adverbs of places and preposition, if you are not careful, you can use them interchangeably. But what's the difference? How do you know the difference? These two sets we have listed now. Preposition, for those that are preposition, they come before the noun, before the noun. Whereas for the adverb, it comes after the verb or an adjective or another adverb. Now that is the simple way to know the difference. Look at these two sentences. You have je suis dehors de la maison. Because there's la maison there, dehors can never be adverb there. It's a preposition of place. Dehors de la maison, I'm outside the house. But if I say la cave est dessous la maison. La cave est dessous. That dessous is coming after the verb. And there's nothing like do before the la. So it's an adverb. Please take note of them. Now look at another one. An adverb also of place can be modified. Yeah, you can modify it now. Let's say we have c'est une femme bien. Now c'est une femme bien. Now take note, we said adverb they come after preposition, they modify preposition, verbs, and other adverbs. But they can also modify now. Like the sentence I gave you now, c'est une femme bien. The bien there is an adverb. And it's telling us how well the woman is. C'est une femme bien. The next example is c'est quelqu'un de bien. It's someone of repute, someone that is somebody admired, somebody of repute. Yeah? C'est quelqu'un de bien. So these are adverbs used after nouns at times. So you can also modify nouns. So you want to take note of that. The next thing I want to know is a particular adverb. We call it l'adverbe de tout. Yeah. T-O-U-T. L'adverbe de tout. It's very important you note this particular adverb we want to deal with right now. L'adverbe de tout. Now what is it all about? Let's begin with a sentence. I like using it in sentences so that you get it easily. Number one, we have nous sommes tous perdus. Now you have la terre était toute couverte de neige. Let's say it's winter in Europe, for example, and there is snow all over the place. La terre est toute recouverte de neige. Now you see these two and two, this is masculine and feminine gender. They are used after the verb. Now, two is an adverb that marks intensity. You want to note that one very well. Nous sommes tous perdus. We are all lost. That is, we are so lost. Let's say we are in a particular situation and we don't know what to do. We are lost. Nous sommes tous perdus. It marks intensity. This adverb two that I'm picking right now is we call it animal and variable, like every adverb in French originally. Now for this particular adverb, look at this example now. Let's say we have ils sont tout étonnés. That is, they are all surprised. Elles sont tout étonnées. Surprised as well. Now for this particular adverb two, you must not make it feminine every time. Ils sont tout étonnés. Elles sont tout étonnées. The gender does not affect it here. Why? The reason is because before a feminine word that begins with a consonant or called H aspiré in French, you might have the variation in gender. Now, when the next word is modifying the adjective or the verb begins with a vowel, that distinction is not taken into consideration. Why? Because tout étonné we go with the H muette and the vowels for phonological reasons, and so two can be used for feminine and masculine at the same time when it's before a vowel, but you make the distinction of the feminine and masculine gender by adding E when it begins with a consonant, when the next one begins with a consonant, or with what we call H aspiré. Now look at the examples to those two things I just mentioned. We have elles sont toutes honteuses. Honteux is H aspiré, honteuse. Because we have H aspiré there, for that adjective, we're going to use tout, make it feminine. Like you can agree in number and gender with the noun, with the subject, which is the L. Now, la terre était toute recouverte. Now, recouverte does not begin with a vowel, it begins with a consonant. And so we are going to make that adverb feminine in that particular context. So now this is the take. For two, why I decided to pick it? Because it's very tricky. Number one, you use two as two, whether it is masculine or feminine, when the word begins with a vowel or H muette. That is the verb or the adverb or the adjective. Now, when it begins with H aspiré or a consonant, you must make the distinction if the noun is a masculine noun or feminine noun. I have seen la terre était toute recouverte, elles sont toutes honteuses as examples. So take note of those. They are very, very important. The next most important thing to know about adverbs at your level as an anglophone studying French is the placement of adverbs. We did something like that for the placement of adjectives. You can go back to the previous videos if you have not watched that, because you need those knowledge as well. Now, for the placement of adverbs, what do we need to take into consideration? Before I give you the rules, let me give you the examples again. Elle sait toujours tout. Elle sait toujours tout. In English, you say she always knows everything. Let's say you have a very smart kid in the class, a very smart student in the class. Elle sait toujours tout. Come to chemistry, physics, he knows everything. Or for those of you undergraduate, for example, doing French, I have for 112, 113, but just knows every course. It's just good. You say elle sait toujours tout. The next example, ils ont beaucoup aimé le spectacle. Now the adverb is used differently. The first one is elle sait toujours tout. Remember that particular verb is just in the present indicative. We're going to deal with verb very soon in our next video. But the second one is in the past tense. Ils ont beaucoup aimé le spectacle. They enjoyed the show very much. Now, with those two sentences, let's talk about the placement of adverbs now and give you the rules, because French is a language of rules. The very first thing you want to take note of is the fact that adverbs are placed generally after the verb they modify. Now you have il sait toujours tout. Elle sait toujours tout. Now the exception is aussi. Let's say we have cet homme aussi a raison. We brought the aussi. Cet homme aussi a raison. So that's just an exceptional case. But generally, adverbs are placed after the verb they modify. Now, the two sentences we looked at, one is the present tense, and the adverb is placed after the verb. But in the second one, we see the adverb placed in between the two verbs, that is, the auxiliary and the participe passé. That's particular beaucoup. Now we say we place adverbs after the auxiliary before the participe passé. And then we must pay attention to adverbs of quantity as well. We're going to come to that. But let's look at some examples. We have, for example, ils ont beaucoup aimé le spectacle. That example we use. You see that adverb is placed in between the auxiliary, the auxiliary verb, which is the on, the avoir there, and then the aimer, the participe passé. So you place the adverb in between those two in the past tense. Now, when you come to adverb de temps, adverbs of time, remember I said tu, we say aussi, we say demain, we say aujourd'hui, we have tout, tard, we have tôt. Those are adverbs of time. Therefore, adverbs of places, ici, là, dehors. We already looked at that already initially in this video. When you have adverbs like that, they are placed after the participe passé in a past tense construction. Or it can be before. Let's say we have hier, nous sommes allés au cinéma. Yesterday, hier. That's an adverb. It's coming now before the verb. Nous sommes allés. Nous sommes allés au cinéma. But look at the next one. Demain, nous irons à la campagne. So we are not placing the adverb before, after the noun, the verb. We are placing it before the noun. These adverbs of time. These adverbs of time, we place them before the noun in this kind of construction. Now, we have other type of adverbs. Now, at times, you could have a short participe passé, and the adverb is very long. And then we call those kind of adverbs of manner generally. Now, for those adverbs of manner, let's take an example of that. We place them after. Elle est partie rapidement. Est partie is a very short participe passé. But rapidement is an adverb of manner. How did she leave? Quickly. That's manner. Adverb of manner. Donc, l'adverbe de manière à ce niveau est placé après le participe passé. Note that one. Now, for other adverbs, you put them in between the participe passé. For adverbs of time, you put them before the noun and the sentence and participle passé. For adverbs of manner, they come after the participle passé. And most of these kind of adverbs are formed from adjective. Imagine we have long, we have longuement. Now, we have il est parti rapidement. As an example, rapidement, adverb of manner, very long, polysyllabic, placed after the participle passé. Now, we also have adverbs that precede adjective or adverbs that they modify. We have il est très drôle. Those short adverbs. Then we also have il est admirablement bien joué. Now, that admirablement in that sentence is not modifying the verb. No. It's modifying the other adverb bien. Il est admirablement bien joué. And so it's coming before that bien. If it was modifying the verb it will say occupy that same position. So that's what you're going to take note of. That adverbs of manner that are polysyllabic in nature, they are only placed after the verb, not before other adverbs or adjectives they are modifying. The next thing as far as adverbs are concerned, as you go into the study of adverbs, is called locution adverbial. Locution adverbial. Now, what are they all about? Now, when I say locution adverbial, we are talking about a group of words that can stand for an adverb. Yeah, a group of words that we call that can stand for an adverb, and they are placed after the participle passé. Note that we have il est parti en attention. Those kind of adverbs are placed after the participle passé. Il est parti à not and su. That à not and su there is a locution adverbial. It's placed after the participle passé. As we come towards the end of this interaction, the degree of adverbs. Now I'll see the degree of adjectives in the last video. Now I have the same thing. Now you have what called comparative and superlative as well. Look at these examples. Let's say we have c'est elle qui travaille le mieux. Le mieux there is the superlative. That's the adverb there. Now you have plus il est fatigué, plus il fait d'erreurs. The more he's tired, the more mistakes he makes. So you have the plus there as the comparative level of adverb. You have le mieux there as the superlative level. For some adverbs of time, adverbs de temps like souvent, longtemps, adverbs of manner, apart from ensemble, you put them and use them for comparison. Let's say we have aussi longtemps. Use them with adjective. You have moins longtemps. You have plus longtemps, le moins longtemps, très longtemps. Now, by using this adjective and this adverb, they go together for comparison. Now, let's take some adverbs now and look at their comparative and superlative form that you can use for your sentences and expressions. You have bien, mal, peu, beaucoup. Let's pick those four. There are more. We have a lot of them in French. But for bien, at the comparative, we have mieux. And then you have le mieux, superlative. Mal, you have pire, you have le pire. Peu, you have moins, le moins. Beaucoup, you have plus, or you have le plus. Now let's take sentences now and see how they are used. You have je l'aime beaucoup. Tu l'aimes plus. C'est lui qui l'aime le plus. C'est lui qui l'aime le plus. Le plus there is superlative. Tu l'aimes plus is comparative. Tu l'aimes beaucoup. That is just at the positive level. Another example. Il travaille bien. Another example. Il travaille bien. Il travaille mieux. That's comparative. Il travaille le mieux. That's the superlative. So that's how you use adverbs for comparison, like we have for adjective. The next thing we're going to be talking about is called adverbs of manner. And so stay tuned for the next video, and you'll learn more about adverbs of manner and how you can use them. Thank you.